John Cena in that
Look
hat.
back.
Oh boy, it's happening finally because it got animated.
Yeah, listen, I was willing to read it. I read fucking the autism one, Goodbye Ari.
I read the Autism Vampire one.
Yeah, I say that, but every single one of Fujimoto's characters are autistic. Like, there's not a neurotypical in the bunch. Right?
No, like it is the entirety of the spectrum.
It's insane. Well, and it makes you think, like, this has got to be kind of relating to like how Fujimoto is in his life, right? I mean, he's definitely this guy. The fish story. Everyone knows the goldfish story. And you were talking
and the
about
fact that he wanted to like get stepped on by the one bully.
Oh, God bless. I mean, that's just if that's autistic,
just real.
Then I'm autistic. Oh wait. Let me just get the fucking PNGs of my official autism documents. And
God,
put them up.
I don't even have PNGs. Mine are fucking paper.
No, yeah, mine are like shitty like photocopies of the paper that someone like photo scanned in, and I have them all on my phone, so I can be like, legally, you can't bully me. That's not
I should do that.
I made a fucking meme once. It was like, I gotta see if I can find it. It was like Ace
the
Attorney.
card for
No, you can. There's a website you can go to, Ace Attorney, and like I don't know what the website is. I just woke up, by the way. Vex literally like woke my ass up. Like, let's do this review now. I'm like, okay, but anyway,
okay. I've been up since 5 a.m. It's 10 a.m. right now.
So there's an Ace Attorney generator website where you can like, it's like da, 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 and you can like have him say anything. So I have like the gif of him where he's like shaking the papers and he's like, as you can see by my official autism report, you're not allowed to be mean to me.
Oh my God, I just pictured you with like the fucking the scene from the Joker where he's got that card and that's just your autism diagnosis. The one good Arthur Fleck Joker.
Oh man. Okay, so I've been trying to think about like how we're gonna review this because it's like so serious and like do we have the capacity to be serious?
Clearly not.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I'll just start off below the load here. I thought it was fucking excellent. I think this is this will probably go down as like his magnum opus. Like, I mean, it got this like Ghibli level animation. You have Hideo Kojima. Did you ever see him like gassing it up when it was out in Japan?
I saw a little bit of what he was posting about, which I don't know if it's like his official account or his not official account because you can literally pay for a blue check mark.
It is, as far as I know, it is his account, but there's an account that will like repost his tweets. But
his stuff
English.
in like English.
Like,
I saw the English translation one.
Yeah. So no, I'm like pretty sure that is him because he's a big movie guy and he'll go and like review movies and the joke is you can always tell how he feels about a movie by
I watched the Marvels.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like he talked about like how he went and saw it like a million times and he was just knob slobbing the shit out of it and you were talking about how you brought a Fujimoto virgin to this showing, your new partner, and I also had the pleasure of bringing a Fujimoto virgin because it was me, Allie, Allie's my girlfriend, and then it was also Catherine, Andrew's wife. Andrew wasn't interested. He's a doesn't got robots in it, mechs. I don't care.
He was over like 2 stadiums down watching Transformers 1 for the 5th time.
Probably. Well, unironically, you know what he was doing? Playing that new Dragon Ball game. We couldn't pry away from that.
He just like me for real.
Yeah, exactly.
I struggled trying to stream that as the rich district, like 2 rows down from my current place that I'm moving out of, was getting their internet work done. Nice. I got to run a quarter of a match before they're like, nah, bitch, you don't have internet anymore.
Yikesies. But yeah, so anyway, it was fun because I was really excited because like Fujimoto he's such a weird author and like and she's a film major, the one I brought, Catherine. So I was like trying to like tell her like, okay, like he's really good at like naturalistic character interactions. I love the dialogue, and I think like specifically in this movie where the Fujimoto-isms shined through the greatest to me was and you can tell this is a scene that Fujimoto knew was important because I went and read the manga afterwards and it's like this huge double-page spread where she's like skipping, where she's so happy that this person who she like didn't know her whole life but just knew as like an ethereal person behind the page and she hated this person and this person was responsible for her giving up on this hobby that she loved, and then you meet her and I mean and think about it from like a middle schooler's perspective. You're like, fuck this bitch, and then you finally get to meet her.
Literally,
and it turns
Mean
out,
Girls.
Right, but you finally get to meet her, and it turns out she's like the biggest knob slobber for you. I mean, that's got to feel amazing, right? And
No, literally.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, and I really like the way that the storytelling panned out in this, because it did a really good thing where it didn't feel that, and this is very Fujimoto, sometimes we complain about it in Chainsaw Man, but it felt like, it didn't feel like it needed to explain things that you could just kind of like get, through context, right? So something I noticed was there was no big scene transitioning from like, okay, we have this weird relationship where like you look up to me but I still kind of look down on you, to like, boom, we're best friends now, right? Like that scene where she's skipping, I thought there was going to be a couple minutes that kind of showed, okay, well, at first they're hanging out, and, she's kind of, because she's basically just told a lie on the spot. She was like, oh, yeah, I'm working on a big fancy manga for a competition. And, like, I feel like other manga, other anime, there would have been, like, this long, at least a couple minutes scene where, like, at first that's, like, a lie, and she's like, am I really going to do it, or am I just stringing her along to, like, feed my ego? But no, it just, like, instantly cut from that to like they're actually friends now. There's actually mutual respect, and they're actually doing it. And I that's very Fujimoto, the way he like paced that, the way that like I don't know. And like in this, sometimes in Chainsaw Man it can be annoying because Chainsaw Man's like a shonen, and we want like all these details and like the information on the world. But in this, which is like a short story focusing on the relationship of two girls, you really get to, it's refreshing. It's like, oh, it just assumes, okay, this, what's happening here. Let's move on. So that was refreshing pacing. The pacing felt very Fujimoto. The lack of like paying attention to normal story structure. Like another moment I think of that's very Fujimoto is after she dies from like the axe murderer, and she goes to that room and she rips up the little comic strip she wrote, and the top of it is the "don't come out," and then like there was no transition, there was no like explanation to make like, hey, this isn't really happening, this is like, because for a second there I'm like, wait, what's the real reality? I was asking too many questions, because we see like this alternate reality where like, well, what if they didn't meet in that moment, and then it goes right back to the previous reality. There was no like transition, there was no like, this is what's happening now. It just happened, and like, and I don't know, Fujimoto's like willing to confuse his audience. And I appreciate that, because it made me think. I was like, wait, what's happening here? Okay, this is just, it's artsy. Not everything has to have, like, an explanation. I don't have to be like, well, why are we seeing this right now? Is this real? Like, it's just like, it's just artsy.
Yeah, like, Midnight, my partner, had never seen Chainsaw Man, never, read Fire Punch, none of this. My only introduction, because originally this was going to be a double date, but then our schedules didn't, line up. Because of what's going on with your girlfriend, and then I'm like, well, I've already bought my tickets.
Also, the 4 p.m. showing at Sunday would have been hard for me because I get out of work at 4.
Yeah, you were literally would have been rushing, and that was the only showing when we had originally planned this, and we're like, well, we'll save you a seat if you're able to get there.
Yeah.
But we were already planning on heading to Spirit Halloween, which is right next door to the AMC. So. My only introduction is like, do you want to do this? Here's the trailer, and she's like, yeah, it looks really pretty. It just, and when we got out of the theater, she's like, I thought it was just gonna be this cute little lesbian romance, and it was just trauma the entire time.
Allie cried. I saw her cry. And I think my girlfriend specifically, I think really related to it, because I cannot tell you how similar Allie's like upbringing and childhood was to that shut-in character. Like, I mean, I'm not even kidding you, like, almost one-to-one, even down to the fact, and now there was a couple things that, like, I don't know, she related to aspects of the shut-in character and also aspects of the other character. It's almost like, because she was really good friends with Catherine, the one that we brought, and they kept being like, this is literally us, because they also had, like, a childhood friendship and kind of a halfway falling out, and then they got back, and what I definitely really love, too, is, like, Allie is obsessed with sharks. Sharks out the wazoo. I'm looking around, I see like 10 shark plushies while I'm sitting here, and when her manga was fucking Shark Punch, I was like, Allie, this is literally you.
This is literally you.
Oh my god.
No, like, I love like all the little nods to Fujimoto's other work too.
Yeah.
I love I love and hate the fact that we like had ad placements for like Wacom tablets and shit. But like, we literally had like the viewer polls in there, or the reader polls, sitting on the desk for Shark Punch. Shark Punch's covers were basically like for the manga volumes. Yeah, Chainsaw Man covers. I loved all that. I was talking to you like when I got out of the showing, like I loved how they were able to like translate like different styles of animation in this, because I'm a fucking animation junkie down to the point. down to the point where like I can't technically watch a lot of old Disney movies because like one of my friends and we have like this found this channel where like shows like the like
Oh, I already know where you're going with this because they reused a lot of like
right
shots.
like there's a channel that dives into like reused animation and everything, but like now like the movies that you go back to from your childhood, you see like, well, that's also like 7 other movies, which is great because I'm all for like taking the shortcuts that you need to because the animation industry is brutal as fuck, but like it kind of
It depends on
back
how much they do it, right? If it's just like one
Yeah.
little, we need a transition shot where Snow White is walking left and we have
Right.
this shot of fucking Cinderella walking left, that's
Yeah.
fine. But if it's like half the movie, that's different, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a limit, and like Disney has like a pool of animation from like that era where they would just go in and like, well, this is an asset.
Oh
We can
yeah,
just
I'm
change
sure
the
Walt
fucking
Disney was like chain smoking cigars, like watching his animators, like fucking hurry up.
Hurry up! And also, you cannot be a Jew.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I was gonna say I'm gonna go vote for Hitler, but that's not. He's an American.
I just took it there anyway.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, no. Yeah. I. You know what? I feel like I don't know enough about Walt Disney to make that joke. I have heard through the grapevine many times that he was like very Nazi supportive, but I've not read into it myself.
He was just very anti-Semitic.
I see.
Yeah. From like all of the tales that I've heard about him. I have friends that work at Disney, and like both the parks and in the actual like animation field, which is crazy to say. Like,
It's crazy, man.
yeah.
There's
But,
a
like,
bunch of. Have you seen how like the pictures of Walt Disney at Disney World? They've like blurred out, like they'll like edit out like the cigarettes in his hand and shit.
Yeah. It's fucking insane. But like that was the norm back then. Like fucking
See, I don't know, man. We shouldn't like I'm against like history revisionism like that. Like I mean like
exactly.
Tell the whole truth. Like all you got to do is be like, yep, back
This is
then.
a product of the time.
Well, so if I had a kid and I was like showing, we were walking through Disney World and there was a picture of Walt Disney with a cigarette, I'd be like, yeah, so back then people were fucking stupid and they thought that it was good for you. But now we know better.
With a Togashi level ashtray right now,
no,
2 inches from me.
No, that's Oda.
Oh, Oda, yeah.
Yeah. Oda, I believe he's quit since then. But like Oda in his peak, fucking just pumping out the chapters, he was like 2 packs a day and that shit.
Jesus Christ. I'm not even like. I used to be a pack a day smoker. Now I'm like I vape.
Dead.
Yeah. Now I vape mostly, and I maybe 4 or 5 cigarettes a day, which is more than I'm happy to fucking say. Which is why I'm trying to quit slowly, like the actual cigarettes, and go back to fucking like just vape.
Get that nicotine gum, brother. I helped my dad.
Zen is like my other like lifesaver. Not to a Hassan level. I don't have a tower of Zen.
So,
but like, there's something I want to say about specifically where we got that intro portion where they're doing like the Forkana. I think that's
we
what
like
you call
zoom
it.
in and like see her little
Like,
manga that she does.
Yeah. So like we went from like I don't want to say it, but it kind of felt like that one episode of Smiling Friends where they did all the experimental like Snapchat filtery stuff.
Every episode of Smiling Friends.
the Snapchat filter.
Talking about fuck that guy, the scientist guy, and then his brother.
But like how we got that transitional period there of like from the normal animation, kind of like they interlope that into the Forkana, and then they took that away in the most beautiful way to tell both of these stories. I loved that motion that they did for all of that. It's fucking crazy how like an in-between shot can convey so much emotion.
You had said something when you saw it and messaged me. You were like, because Fujimoto, and it's funny because I had never read Look Back. You know, I specifically when I saw that they were animating, I was going to, but then I saw they were animating, and I was like, well, I might as well, I'll hold off and then see it animated for the first time. And so I, not even seen this, but knowing Fujimoto very well, you had said something like, oh, they really captured the Fujimoto transitions well. And instantly what I thought of was like, okay, Fujimoto is known for having like whole chapters of just like slideshows, you know what I mean? Like, and I like that. And that was something I was describing to Catherine, the film major I went with, who was like, yeah, so he's like, he will really just take a whole page to like show the little motions of someone's face. And I've always liked that about Fujimoto's like writing, and because that takes a lot of skill, you know. Like I mean, it's they say show don't tell for a reason, and he's very good at showing don't telling. And again, we sometimes he doesn't tell enough, but he's very on the show side of that spectrum, and so this anime took full advantage of that because you have like you said to me, and I noticed it, like the transitions between the seasons as she's like drawing like crazy, the transitions of them getting older, going through the grades. I was like, and it really just made me feel so emotional because like here's just like childhood just fucking blasting through. Just like boom, 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 boom. And I don't know if you sat there and saw the trailers before the movie, but there was one movie that was there was like this line, and the movie looked terrible if I remember correctly, but like there was a line that got to me. It was like something like childhood is the best season of life. But it goes fast or something like that, and it just like every time I hear something like that, I think like, oh, will I ever be as happy as I was when I was a kid? Can I ever reattain that? And then that paired with like the part of this movie where everything was going great, like, I mean, they're just, and I loved how unabashedly gay it was too. Like, I mean, these two, they're like hugging and snuggling, and she's got her arm around her, and their like faces are super close, and I'm like, okay, so this is not like, I didn't know because I should have known it's Fujimoto, but I didn't know if it was gonna be like, oh yeah, they're really close friends. I was like, no, there's like a romance.
They're gay.
Yeah, you're gay. So yeah, I don't know. This was one of those movies that just like tap back into that like innocence of childhood, like not a worry in the world when you could just spend your entire summer just like doing nothing but drawing, and you're not worried about like making money or your taxes, or it's like, oh my god, it's so good. And then like that harsh reality of adulthood, they split up, she wants to go to college, and then of course the most Fujimoto thing in the world, the random, let me just drop an axe murderer in here, just
right.
And that was real quick before you say something about that. That was something that was fun to watch the Fujimoto virgin in my crowd react to, because again, she was just watching it like it was a Ghibli movie, basically. Because she loves animation like we do. So she was like, "Fuck it, I'll watch it. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll watch it." And then so when the movie stopped and Allie was like, "Oh, that was literally us," and then Catherine was like, "Make sure you don't get killed by an axe murderer."
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, I think I know what she said. She said that was literally us, and then she was like, except one of us didn't get killed by an axe murderer.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god.
But like literally, I had my like concerns when it first got announced, because I thought it was like 98 pages, but I just went back to this website. It's 143 pages. And you know like how a lot of like short form movies based on like shorter books tend to be
stretch
like
it out.
They either stretch it out, pad it, or add unnecessary bullshit, and there already wasn't a lot of dialogue in this manga to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had concerns there, like, are they going to voice act? Is it going to be a silent film? Is it going to be padded with unnecessary bullshit filler? Are they going to kind of do their own thing with it, make it I don't know, like the Ghost Story dub, right, kind of thing. I had my reservations, and I gotta say, Studio Durian did a phenomenal job with this adaptation.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead,
they didn't add too much to it. They kind of fleshed out a couple scenes.
The only thing they added,
there.
I think, was like things that made it better. Like
exactly.
The thing with like animating her little 4-strip comics.
Yeah, animating the 4-strip comics. The shot from the door, was kind of like extended to where it would tell like a little bit clearer, like, okay, this is an alternate timeline, so it did a little hand-holding, but not too much.
Oh yeah, because I imagine I was like, what is, like, obviously it's an alternate timeline, but like where are we going with this? Even that threw me for a loop. Even in the movie, I imagine in the manga it was just like, and we're doing this now.
Yep, literally.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad you brought up the runtime, because I think this is a good lesson to, like, because the people that fund movies are so obsessed with like we have to carbon copy whatever's successful. So they're like, the movie's got to be an hour and a half to 2 hours at minimum maximum, and and it's really nice that, like, I think more things should be like this. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be. We don't need to just make things longer for the sake of making it longer. Just make it the length it needs to be.
Exactly.
Like, that's why you see on this channel, we're not fucking playing the 10-minute game, or I don't even know what the meta is right now. Like for
12 minutes.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Like we're not doing that because it's gonna be the length it's gonna be because that's, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. So like I did love that. I loved that. I'm trying to think of other scenes.
We're living in an era where like animation is getting completely fucking diddled right now by every studio known to mankind. Netflix.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that. Yeah, and
doubling down on cancellation.
It's so nice to see just things be able to still succeed like this, And so like you said, because animation is getting fucked on from every direction, it's nice when something like this comes out to support it. You know what I mean? And I'm really happy that I'm hearing it's doing really well. And to me, that shows there'll always be a place for it, even if these big corporations don't want it.
Exactly.
There's always going to be some getting made from somewhere because there is a big market that appreciates it.
The irony in that whole like Netflix in particular being so cancel heavy, right, is they begged Gooseworks for Digital Circus, like, hey. Your shit is popular fucking everywhere to the point where like what is going to be a 9-episode animation is getting a manga adaptation, right?
Top four in Netflix, by the way.
Still, by the way.
So can I say something about that real quick? I'm really, really, really impressed with Glitch and how they've continued to like hold on to their morals, you know what I mean? Because they didn't take a fucky deal, like they specifically in this deal. Gooseworks tweeted about it. I don't know if you saw this, where she was like,
you sent me the tweet.
Yes, she was like, the thing about this deal is they can't try to like strong arm us into any story changes, and if they do, it's it's on our end. We can like cancel it anytime. It's completely up to our discretion. So like,
which I fucking love.
Yeah, and like and another thing that people point out that's cool about that is that like it lets like little kids watch it without being subjected to like the content farm gross YouTube shit. But yeah, no. Another thing that I loved about Glitch is that like they did a video where they were talking about how like because of the immense popularity, they had a bunch of studios and a bunch of streaming services calling them and contacting them and doing the like, how'd you do it? What's the secret? Like, and they said, they responded, people are hungry for unique stories, and you have to give these like unheard of authors, unheard of creators a chance. That's literally it. So the fact that I'm so happy that message is going out to these like big streamers and these big production companies and I hope that some of them take that to heart, because like,
goddamn gonna Warner Brothers isn't.
No, for sure. But I think that, I mean, some of them got to be looking at it like, because at the end of the day, it is gambling, right? Like you can try to make your, 100 million, 200 million safe film or whatever, like where it'll make somewhere in that ballpark. But the thing with like a Digital Circus or a Hell of a Boss or a Has Been Hotel is, if you take a chance, if you take a chance on a super weird, new, unheard of creator, crazy concept, it's possible it gets nothing, and it's possible it becomes the biggest thing on the fucking planet, and that's the choice. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to you're not supposed to hoard your money like a fucking dragon in a cave. You fucking take chances. And to tie this back to Look Back, did you stay and watch the director interview at the end?
We did not watch all of the director stuff.
So one of the things he said, and it was, you could tell this guy like really had his finger on the pulse. He knows about like the current state of events when it comes to like art and artists and creators. He specifically, like, there was a part where he was talking about how a lot of the animation in this, they purposely didn't correct little animation mistakes. So what they meant was like when you're drawing and then like you erase something and then you draw like again, there's like little like lines that are left over and stuff, and a lot of that's still in there. And they kept that purposefully because the movie is an homage to the creators, to the artists. And he specifically said, like, for a movie like that to come out in this era with like technology and AI and like that was kind of what I wanted to push, was like the because that message at the end, like, why do you draw even though it's a pain in the ass, even though this that, why do you still draw? And the answer, I think, is because it's fulfilling to the soul. Like any creation is fulfilling, like I haven't made one in a while, but when I made AMVs, it fucking filled me with a joy unlike anything else. Even this, which isn't as intense of a form of creation, it's just us podcasting, I fucking love it. It's something that I look forward to every week. I love coming up with different like stream ideas with Ryo. It's like, okay, how can we do a silly stream with 100 girlfriends this time? Did I tell you our new idea? We're gonna do a Christmas special where we all come up with like what gifts we would get for each one of the girls, because they all have such strong personalities, so that's gonna be fun.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah,
for you guys.
So like the creation is great, and I loved that message. And there's one other message I wanted to talk about that was really strong to me, which is like this idea of, you know, and damn well I'm not gonna remember either one of these girls' names, but it's the autistic one and the less autistic one. So like
autistic A and autistic B.
No, but it's specifically like, okay, can we say autistic and autistic light?
I'm sure someone would find a way to be offended, and I do not care.
But we're both autistic, so we're allowed.
Yeah,
you know, we
it's
have
canceled.
we have the retard card.
I have the ability to say the F slur. So.
Yep, we can both say that, and we can both say retard. So you know. I'll say Vex, I think, is more allowed to say the F slur. I'm like very straight passing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I need to start looking a little gayer. But anyway, I need to start kissing dudes, but no dudes are willing. None of the dudes I know, because I've known them since like middle school, are like
middle school or college.
Yeah,
like,
we're friends. We don't want to kiss. Like, but let me kiss. Anyway, all that to be said, one of the messagings that I love, and again, this comes from Fujimoto, who definitely is autistic himself. It's pretty fucking obvious. He's had a weird fucking life, and I'm sure he had a shut-in phase.
Yeah.
And so that message of like when the less autistic one is like, I did this, I killed her. And like, when you think about it, in a roundabout way, if you're really doing the butterfly effect shit, yes. But,
yeah.
Which would fuck me up a little bit, you know? Like, you know, like, oh shit, you know, if you stayed a shut-in, you probably wouldn't have died. But I think the message there, and it didn't beat you over the head with it. It wasn't like, bonk, 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 think about this. It was just kind of, it didn't say it, but I thought it, because it was very obvious. It was like, sure, if she stayed a shut-in, she wouldn't have died, but she also wouldn't have lived, right?
Exactly.
Her life got immeasurably better because you brought her out of that room. And even though
she got to experience
such
the outside
happiness, bliss,
love.
friendship, love, winning like $1 million yen, which is like $100,000. You know, like
still, like,
no, yeah, I know, but some people I think don't know the or the what's it called, the transition of that, or yeah.
The conversion.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, either way, like, I think that's such a good message, which is like, even though the world is dangerous and scary, I don't think if she could like speak to her as a ghost or from heaven or whatever, I guarantee you she'd be like, no, I'm still glad. Even though I died at like 20 or whatever the fuck age she was, I'm absolutely still glad that I came out of that room.
Probably 1920s.
Yeah.
Because she was college age.
Right.
And they don't really do what we did as, you know, students and wait until later in life to go to college.
Yeah. So point being though, right? Like, do you see what I'm saying though? Like the message there of like, no, it's good that you left your room. And it's
exactly
good, and because like even if that does happen, experiences are everything in life. And like you know, sure, maybe if she stayed a shut-in, maybe she's dying at like the age of 85 and she's like, well, I lived a long life, but I didn't fucking do anything. You know, like
right? No, literally.
Yeah. So
it's crazy though, because like I love the way that we saw that comic be like the gateway for this entire story too.
That was
right?
so clever. I'm assuming that was like that in because I skimmed through the manga, but I didn't read all of it.
Yeah,
I mostly just wanted to find the skipping scene. I love her fucking weird skip so much.
It's so fun, but and it's something that like Fujimoto does a lot. Is that like a little happiness skip?
I want to say too. Before I'm sorry, please continue.
But like the way that comic was the catalyst for all of the events essentially, and being like the butterfly in fucking Life is Strange, sort of, in a weird fucking way.
That was so powerful to me because like it's just the littlest thing, you know, and like like think about how they wouldn't have even become friends if she didn't drop it in that specific way where it went under her door. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like, do you ever have that with like your like partners? Like obviously all your partners have been kind of like under a year as of late, but like once the one you're with now is like you've been with her 5-6 years, like it'll start to really hit like how did you meet, and what if that didn't happen, right? Like with me and Allie, we're approaching 5 years now. We just hit 4 years like a couple months ago, and it's just like if literally we met because Andrew and Catherine invited me to go to the mall. And then Catherine invited Allie to go to the mall at the same time. And if that didn't happen, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I don't know, because I also don't think, just from like a fiscal perspective, I don't think I could afford rent without a partner. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck my life would be right now if it wasn't for just going to the mall that day. You know?
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's sane, right? Because I know, like, the likelihood of me leaving Grand Rapids at this point is very high because it's so fucking pricey to live here anymore. It's I hate to say this, and obviously, like, it's no secret where we fucking live because we've
No,
uploaded fucking
I think it's okay to say It's a huge ass city. Good luck
right,
finding us. And if you do
yeah.
find us, just don't kill me. Don't just say
I
hi.
am armed.
And
I'm gonna pull out the chibi the
yeah.
chibi reviews pistol here.
I'm armed with many anime swords.
That are all blunted.
That's bullshit. One of them's sharp.
Well, yeah, no, like that one you got at con was sharp.
I have Rukia's sword, I have Ulquiorra's sword, and I have Ichigo's Tensuzangetsu. Ulquiorra's is, I'll say at the tip, it's genuinely very sharp. I stabbed a hole in a ceiling once at a previous place I lived on accident. Yeah. Anyway.
The likelihood of ever seeing a penny from the security deposit for this apartment is.
I'm just saying
non-existent.
I could stab through a man with is it Marceliago? I'm trying to remember the names of all these fucking swords. So Rukia's is Sore no Shinayuki. I think Ulquiorra's
We both have Sore no Shoryuki. We both
yeah,
have
and yours is fucking yellow from all the cigarette smoke.
nicotine, yeah. And also the little like happy charm has been destroyed by a cat.
But anyway, you were saying.
But like, it is so fucking pricey to live here. It is almost as bad as like inside Austin, Texas. For the prices for like a studio apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment. Like the only way I could see continuing to live here, like in the next couple years, if rent continues to fucking progress in the prices that it's going, would be buying a fucking house. And that's fucking crazy to even think about the logistics of buying a house in 2024, 2025, right? It's not saying that it's not something that I would do. It's just something that would require a lot of sitting down with the partner. Like, okay, what do we want to, at that point, having been together, 2-3 years, by the logistics of that, do we want to buy a house or do we want to like live out, where you live, where it's a little bit cheaper, like rent out that way is like
I can feel the viewer retention going down right now.
$900 compared to almost fucking $1,300. Because that's what they wanted to charge for the fucking apartment here was almost $1,500.
Blood is
if we were able to.
Your blood is yapping. Where is this going?
Yeah. So like
we can go off topic, but it has to be interesting to the viewers.
So like the fact that $100,000 was so life-changing to them, it just resonated with me. It resonated with me so fucking deeply because like that amount of money could be a down payment on a house. It could be like setting myself up with like a decent investment to where like I could potentially like move anywhere.
Yeah, and they were they were in middle school too, so like they didn't even have like bills to pay. They were just like, let's go get ice cream. But no, real quick, but it's obvious that like that money helped her to succeed down the line because she went on to become an actual manga artist. But that $100,000 definitely helped her like get a studio. Like I mean, she is clearly like wealthy at the end of this. Like she's in that really nice. She got a studio.
Yeah. Like they all immediately were like, do we want to go get an apartment? Do we want to go get a house? Like that logic there from like a fucking middle schooler was fucking spot on. And I'm assuming like, because like they had no like real bills at that age, it was a lot easier. Like coming into money that early, it's bordering a little bit on nepo baby, but like at the same time, like they worked for it.
Yeah,
they actually did the work. They earned it. They didn't just fucking. They weren't born into it. They weren't fucking like, here you go, child of mine.
I think money definitely hits differently especially for these kids. I mean, they literally like for an entire. I mean, it was years. It was. I know it was at least a year or two where they were just doing nothing but drawing, and like. I mean, just to see what to me the difference between that and just getting it handed to you. What that enforces in like a kid's brain is, oh wow, like hard work actually does pay off.
Right.
And like obviously in our world it doesn't always. A lot of it's
no.
luck.
Look at the fucking Hawk-Tuah girl.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I want to see that movie where they both become Hawk-Tuah girls and
the fact that the Hawk-Tuah girl is fucking suing the person that interviewed her, it disgusts me.
I don't even. That's news I won't even read about. I don't want to be. I want to live in a blissful ignorance of the Hawk-Tuah girl. But
I follow McNasty, and that's how I found out.
I see. Well, yeah, no judgment. I get it. Some people like their TMZ. But what was I gonna say? I had something else to say. Nope, it's gone. You say
It's
something.
the difference between generational wealth and the difference between earning it, and that's such a good message, especially for the audience of, like, the core audience that's actually going to see this is obviously going to be
I know what I want to talk about,
kids.
if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Will it be kids? This is really I don't know, like more on the
It wouldn't be like
spectrum.
your shonen level kid. It would be more of like your bordering on sinning josei
I
level.
think this would be more like high school, college. That would not like
that's fair.
Literal chill. Like I'll be honest. Like I think this would bore the shit out of like an elementary schooler. You know, this is like very.
Well, no,
like,
it's not My Hero Academia. You know,
you're next.
That unironically, the animation of that looks godly. I fucking hate to admit that.
Oh, it's Bones. They know what they're doing, but I will say it looks boring though.
Oh no, it looks boring as hell. But like the animation, I love Bones.
Bones.
Like they're fucking animation style.
Oh my god, dude! What if we get a Soul Eater movie? How cool would that be?
I would fucking jizz my underscore.
Give it to
like.
me. I want a
Soul Eater. Hey,
Walkser,
I will no.
Give me a Soul Eater Fire Force crossover movie where like the timelines intersect.
Dude, I'm going to screen share with you for a second
I
don't know
on
Skype. This is
all right. Let me see.
This is my fucking wallpaper right now.
I don't see it. I only see the Skype page, unfortunately.
Boop.
Oh, very nice.
I love minimalist style wallpaper.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited to meet. Did you watch the dub, right, of the bit of the anime you watched?
I did, yes.
I love Shinra's voice so much, dude. Like Derek Snow's voice as shit, because he's got this rasp to him that he does. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I'm gonna be a hero. I don't know. I can't replicate it. I'm not a fucking voice actor, but like I have watched a lot of anime, and a lot of anime protagonists have that anime protagonist voice. You know what I mean, right? Like the protag voice. Like Deku is the perfect example. Naruto is in that same league.
Denji's voice
even
actor.
Even Luffy's very like King of the Pirates, haha. You know, but like Denji, Jesus Christ. Shinra feels. He just instantly he sounded different to me, and it really helps. This is something I want to say to. We're gonna meet Derek Snow, by the way, he's gonna be at our con, and I just want to tell him how much Shinra is set apart from these other characters, and a lot of that is because of that voice. It just sounds so different. He sounds more like an adult to me. He sounds more like, I don't know, like obviously I'm not saying Shinra's like super mature, but like he just sounds like he's been through shit more than the rest of them.
It comes down to like that's why I love the conversation we had with Mike McFarlane back in the day. It just comes down to the direction and having a good fucking direction for that. And now working with like sound and shit more on the side, it kind of gives me this respect for things like that, because you have to have a good direction, you have to have good stage hands, you have to have, you know, in my line of like side work, you gotta have like somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing at every goddamn station, or nothing is going to sound right.
I also just straight up. Sorry, I was just trying to find a place to interject.
I'm not a little bit salty about the last show I was a part of because it was.
I'm also just straight up fucking like a big fan of his voice. It just sounds very like.
I love his voice.
It's just different. Like it's hard to explain, but like a lot of the voices. Like,
he's the one voicing Beam, right? Like,
yes.
I'm looking forward to the Bomb Devil movie so much.
Yes.
Just to see more of that.
Yeah, dude, he was MVP. He saved his ass. Fucking
Sharknado moment. I just want to hear him do that.
I like his voice the same way I like Ian Sinclair, who I believe is also there.
Yes.
There's so many good actors there, but yes, Ian Sinclair again, like he's one of those actors that just stands out in every production he's in. And so does Derek Snow, in my opinion. So I'm really excited. And then of course I'm also meeting Nagisa, which just really resonated with me when I watched it in 2020. Fucking ass class, not Evangelion.
Yeah. So
is there a Nagisa in Evangelion, or am I mixing that up?
You're mixing that up.
Oh fuck. No, I'm thinking of. Who is there in What's the name of the main character in Evangelion?
Shinji.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what it is. So for my whole life, my favorite Bleach character was Shinji Hirako, leader of the Vizards. So I would always Google Shinji, and I'd be like, who the fuck is this other guy?
The one who jacked off on a unconscious girl. I'm still upset that like the new dubbed Shinji actor is not going to be there, but it gave me a chance to pack away all the fucking pops for that. I'm looking forward to now having like read through One Piece, and I went back and watched like the Vinksake musical performance.
He did so good on that.
Like it's so touching hearing someone who has that much passion, and like even in like the Dragon Ball game, and this is obviously clearly off topic.
He's Whis, right?
He's Whis, and his performance in that, I think, is like his best performance because they did like all the little what if stuff in that game.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play through it.
It's so fucking cool hearing like alternate timelines and him be able to have fun with something that's deviating from the current canon and just be able to go fucking ham with that.
I cannot knob slob Ian Sinclair enough. Like every single thing he's in, he's like he steals
the show.
Some could even argue he's like a spotlight hog. Like I mean, like he will come in and just fucking the inflections he does. It almost borders on like too much sometimes, but it's always amazing. Like in Fire Force, he is Victor Leaked. I don't know, or Light.
Yep.
I don't know how you pronounce his name. The scientist guy. Well, it's like Leaked. It's very German if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And God, he's so good, dude. He'll just like, and again, it's gonna be an awful fucking replication because I'm not a voice actor, but he'll just instead of just being like, oh, this is really bad, he'll be like, oh, this is really bad. What are we gonna do? Like I don't know. He'll be like, this is looking kind of bad, guys. Like he really will go the octaves and he'll go up and down and up and down, and he just there's no limits. The sky's the limit for him. I'm very excited.
And like it's fucking crazy, like going through voice training and trying to like slowly feminize my voice and be able to channel back and forth between the two, just to have a spot of androgyny in it. Like it's fucking it's there's no words to describe how fucking difficult it is to hit certain notes after you've kind of fucked your goddamn vocal cords up. Like. Oh, yeah. It's very obvious that I used to be a pack-a-day smoker from the way my voice sounds normally.
And a death metal singer.
And metal singer. But, like, just trying to, like, a couple days ago, like, I got, basically a week at this point, I got to do what is essentially, like, my yearly duty at this point is I also am an ordained minister, which is hilarious because I'm the furthest thing from a fucking religious person. And I married two of my former coworkers, one of whom I actually dated when I worked with them, which was very awkward. But the fucking groom was a huge fan of Creed, and not ironically, like, spoiler alert, Creed is also technically a fucking Christian band. And just playing guitar as my friend is actually singing, I posted a fucking clip of it. I'm like, motherfucker, you are talented in everything. I hate you. Because I never heard
that's me with literally every single one of my friends can fucking draw so well. And then the one that can't draw, Andy, he's the one that made your Nora Boop hammer. You remember?
Yeah.
Like so he can just fucking foam work like crazy, and I'm like, all I can do is make AMVs, mid-tier AMVs.
Like, and the crazy thing is, I had no idea he could sing at all. I'm just here playing higher on a fucking acoustic guitar that I definitely didn't steal from the back room of the church we were at. But like, it got returned, but like I had no instruments because I packed all my shit up. I'm like, well, it's here, I'll fucking use this. Completely out of tune. I'm sitting there tuning in. He's just fucking hitting the high notes. I'm like, I hate you, motherfucker. I'm roasting you.
So to end off this video, do we want to tie it briefly back into Look Back to end off here?
Yeah, like it's the amount of talent that goes into a production like this, and that's why I've like touched on a lot of the arts in this. It's inarguable.
Yeah, like the director said, this movie is a tribute to creators, right? Like, and like again, like I believe this so passionately, and this is why I need to start trying to learn how to play the piano or trying to learn how to draw, because like that is one of the highest forms of dopamine you're ever going to get in your life. Okay, you're not going to get it through climbing the corporate ladder. You're not going to get it through having a 6-figure paycheck. You're going to get the best forms of enjoyment out of your life from genuine love and creating works of art. That's what the human brain yearns for. And so like that's one of the reasons why I think this hit me so hard, is because like here are these kids doing what in my mind humans are meant to do. This is like people, those fucking philosophers back in the day had it right, okay? Just sitting around all day getting high as fuck and like thinking about the world. That's what people should be doing, bro. That's the life. The argument for like a 4-day work week or a 3-day work week is very good. Oh yeah.
Right, because like, oh sorry,
We would literally, not only from like people's happiness perspective, but also everyone else, we would get a lot more awesome art. If people had, I see this all the time. Okay, you know how right wingers are like obsessed. I don't know how deep you are in the whole of like making fun of right wingers, but like right wingers are like really obsessed with like ancient like Roman architecture and shit. Have you ever seen like they're really like they'll do the like
I've
look
seen
what they
like
took from you.
the blue checkmark pages that are posting that, and I'm like, one, that was made by an openly gay person, and two,
Often, yeah. And then you know what else is funny about that is that it can't, you know, people through studying those like pure white pillars that they love so much used to be painted like gaudy, gross colors, you know, and it's like no, because they're so obsessed with purity and yada yada. But anyway, point being, I see tweets a lot where like they'll look at these beautiful churches that are like 6 billion miles high, and then they'll be like, why doesn't anyone make stuff like this anymore? And it's like, because you fuckers insist on everyone working 60-hour work weeks. No, they used to just like pay artists. That was their job, to just sit around and make gorgeous shit at whatever pace they wanted to. That's what they did in those cultures. They just had like a group of people whose whole job was to make awesome shit. Like
painting the inside of the Sistine Chapel was a 5-year process minimum.
Yeah, like, because that was life. We hadn't we hadn't like industrialized and like commodified, and like we didn't have like clocks that were accurate to the second that makes machines out of men, where we have to be here at no later than 5 seconds after the dot, and bing, 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 bing.
No, literally, like I find something so beautiful in the fact that like there are more and more people starting to slowly turn around to like at least a 4-day work week.
I know.
Because,
God bless Bernie Sanders as always for trying his best to get that into the public eye as well.
Because like,
hold on, we got a knob slob. It's the knob slob Bernie Sanders hour. You got knob slob, our fucking dad.
Well, I'm getting to that. You know, like the 4-day work week, I've done like 3 12s, I've done 4 10s, I've done 5 8s. Like I was my happiest doing the 3 12s, I will say. But my body was defeated by the end of that 3rd day. So I genuinely don't think that there is a good cause for the 3-day work week. I would say like the 4-day work week is probably the healthiest option out of those. Just from like the amount of wear and tear you're putting on your body.
If a 4-day work week was implemented, it doesn't mean that you still work 40 hours. You'd be working 32 hours with no loss of pay, ideally.
Right.
Because the argument would be, all of these corporations are, like, literally all of them, are making, like, record profits because they keep automating.
Oh, dude, like...
Yeah, their profits are skyrocketing because they're doing things that are making their job go quicker. So in a world that was sane, we wouldn't just feel the need to constantly upscale. We would say, okay, because the job goes, like 40 times quicker, y'all can have 1 day off and we'll pay you the same. If they weren't greedy, you know what I mean? Because it's like, right. Oh no, our company's gonna shut down. It's like, no. You make 40 times more than you did like 4 years ago.
You can have a front half and a back half shift like Amazon does. Like there's like logic behind all of those types of things.
And there's also the studies that show that the workers work harder when they only have 4 days instead of 5 because they don't feel as tired. So you're actually getting as much work out of them for, you know, basically it's yeah. It works on every metric, and that's why I'm very lucky that God bless Walmart. They've been very very flexible, and I basically just told them like, yeah, I'd like to work for. Obviously, I'm not getting paid the same as if I worked 40. I wish, but I've been a lot happier having 3 days off a week instead of 2. So
yeah, like no, it's fucking crazy because like you having that option, right, and then me, you know, with my current job and going into the one that I'm going into in like a few days, like I'm going back to 4 10s, and it's so much more freeing knowing like, okay,
I have 3 days off.
I have 3 days off. I'll have like usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. It would depend on like what overtime schedules look like, obviously, as we get into like the holiday season, but it's still a fun little idea to have more time with my partner, more time to create content, more time to have freedom to do the creative process. And having the logically more free time means I can do more stuff like this again, which is always fun. I can, you know, start to, you know, focus on doing what I want to do, and that means we can get back to a lovely little fun side series we've been doing where we're doing the Kingdom Hearts streams.
And eventually we're gonna dust off that hentai devil outfit.
I mean, it's still untaped right here.
One day.
I haven't taped the fucking box shut.
I'm telling you. And we need like a week. Like, it's gonna be like a film shoot. We need a week, and we need to go down to like a swamp.
Yeah.
I still want you to emerge from a swamp.
Are you paying the dry clean bill?
I don't think it would need dry. I feel like just throw it in a fucking washer with some Walmart brand laundry detergent. I think you'll be fine.
Plug in your work.
That's the brand.
The Great Value laundry detergent.
That's the
better,
best.
Guys.
The best part about working at Walmart is that you never have to make a grocery trip ever again. Like I just grab what I need at the end of every day. It's so nice.
It's so fucking helpful. No, like I still have an unopened alien thing that we can repurpose for Don too. Because like we were going to do it for like when the UFO thing was flying around, and then we never filmed it for a skit.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yes. It's been so hard to get together to do skits because our schedule. Because remember, the last time we did skits was when I was still working. Like the last time we did skits regularly was when I was working at PL Slayton, and I would have like sometimes 25 hours a week, you know, and that was when I shouldn't have just dropped Peel Slayton like that. It's like that's like a very specific company that people could Google and find. I might have to...
You don't work there anymore, so what does it matter?
That's true, but people will be able. That's like okay, yeah.
But like
no one harass Peel Slayton.
I name dropped like 5 of my companies in this point.
Yes, but PL Slayton is like it's like a small company that one of them exists. This is not like a chain.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway,
but like that's fucking crazy. Like
no. Sorry. I had more to say. That was when like I only had work when there was trucks, and sometimes I would work like 2 days a week, and as poor as I was, and I was very poor, I would just like, I don't know if you remember, I would just drive over to your place on like a Wednesday, and like with a fucking gourd, and like we'd go to your little swamp and like crush the gourd with a baseball bat. You remember that? Melon
Pretend
Child?
It was Sawika. Yeah. Or like I would get into a fucking cat suit, double cheeked up, and shoot a fucking Nerf gun off my porch.
Do you remember our Dr. Stone one? I still have the pictures of us with like the marker on our face.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Oh, okay. I don't remember you being. Oh, yes, I do now. Yeah, because you were trying to be that sniper that showed.
Stanley.
I can't remember his name. Yes, his name was fucking Stanley.
Yep, Stanley Snyder.
Oh my god. Stanley is such. I can't take that name seriously anymore.
No, I can't either. But like, I would love to do like a week of fucking just skits and bulk have those pre-edited for
it'd be hard to bulk skits because like I feel like I like to make them semi-related to the chapters, you know.
But like, if we were doing like bulk reviews to fill the backlog of Don, we could fit them into that.
Okay. Yeah. I see it. We should have filmed like, see if we had like unlimited skit time, like back in the day, we would have done like a look back skit where it's like this super emotional, like montage shot of us making shit, but instead of like drawing, it's just us doing stupid shit, like you on the leash as Makima, or me Makima.
I mean, you could probably go and clip like 90% of that out of old videos.
Just fucking make a montage of our stupid skits with like really emotional music.
You could probably pull that off, man.
No, and as silly as it is, like, this movie made me think of, like, those really fun times where I would, like, spend a whole weekend at your house, and we would just, like, I would just be on the computer editing, and with, like, a giant bag of Reese's Pieces.
I had to literally throw a bag of Reese's Pieces away because it was, like, 3 years past the fucking expiration date.
Vex always had the fucking giant free bag of Reese's Pieces, so when I came, that was
Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, man.
I also used to make like Jolly Rancher vodka, so that makes sense
awesome,
financially.
Actually. See, now I drink, bro. We do need to do at least one drunk stream together now that I drink.
Yeah, no, like I could come over to your place at some point and we could film the fucking Kingdom Hearts stream from there.
Okay, we could. Let me think. I still want to do like a what lore could I explain? Explaining the Hunter x Hunter lore while drunk. And just like
that would unironically go hard because I don't know if you read the comments for the fucking Hisoka video anymore.
No.
So we had one like a week 4 weeks ago actually. Video too short, 20-hour video tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, fuck it. Sure. Like come over here. I'm trying to think what camera, because I don't have any like high quality cameras is the problem.
Can you bring my webcam?
You got that like HD webcam that you can like attach?
I can bring that with me.
Okay. Let's do that, and then let's get super drunk, both of us, and then like I'm just gonna try to walk you through literally from the beginning to now, like everything that's going on with Hunter x Hunter.
Okay, so unironically, if I'm getting that drunk, I'm probably going to crash on your couch.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, no, that would be fun as fuck, man. Like, do a Kingdom Hearts stream and then a fucking stream of us just explaining Kingdom Hearts lore, like that. Those kind of things, just unironically, those bring me so much joy. Like the Power Ranger stuff I'm doing with the other guys is so much fun too. Like I wish I had more free time, and this is actually giving me more free time, so I'm happy for that.
I'm really happy for you. And like with Hunter x Hunter, I know that you've read it, but I can't imagine you remember a lot of it. So I think it'll be productive. Me just because I don't want you to just like, you know, like me yapping and you're not really listening. I want you like actually absorbing it and trying to like hear what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like it'll be fucking cool.
Because that's the fun, yeah.
That'll be fucking cool, man.
I should also, I could also get drunk and explain each one of the 30 girlfriends and like their vibes and what they're like from 100 girlfriends.
Sure, why not? Let's get a lot of drunk streams in. That's so much fun.
Suicidal cat girl.
Best girl.
One of them is a suicidal cat girl.
That's my type. So
she's gotten a little less suicidal. She's healing, but
Damn.
Oh, come on.
Give me trauma.
No, she has the trauma. Her backstory was literally she's like it started with her standing at like a train track about to like jump under a subway, dude. Like it was pretty intense.
No, like it's fucking crazy, dude. I need to fucking when season 2 comes out, I need to watch the whole series again.
100 Girlfriends?
Yeah,
it's excellent. It's so good. Like I'm glad that you're coming around at least a little bit. I mean, there's no better harem series out there. Like it is the harem series.
See, I don't mind it. I just don't think the harem series are the peak of existence that people bring them up to be.
You need to remember who you're talking to. I've never been a harem series guy. You know this about me, right? Like,
I know.
This is different. Not only is it written like with a slight progressive lean, which is really surprising, it's also like I don't know, it's very like focus on the characters. And I love, like, one of my favorite things about fiction is like new characters, learning what makes them tick. That's why I like Okubo's work and Oda's works, right? Like One Piece, Fire Force, Soul Eater. I like the way that characters are written in those because they're very like, what's their silly quirk and what's the dark reason they have that silly quirk. Yeah, and that's literally how characters are written in 100 Girlfriends too, right? So like in one of my favorite examples, like Shinra I liked Shinra from the moment it was revealed that he like smiles when he's nervous or stressed out. I was like, oh, and then how that like fucked with him. Peak. I don't know. It's just fun to get, or like Arthur and being like the obsession with the night thing. I just love fictional characters, and like with 100 Girlfriends, every 10 chapters you get introduced to a new amazing like girl who's got this weird fucking thing about them, and it's just so good, and like how their dynamic plays with the rest of the girls. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. So like for me, like I love like the Shinra bit there. Like I feel like that's something that I feel like part 2 is missing from Chainsaw Man 2, because like
is this even Look Back anymore?
No, it's not. So like with part 2, like I can't really relate to any of the characters because like I was treated like being desensitized to that, because they died within like 5 seconds of being introduced, right, in part 1. So I feel like that's why I feel like Look Back is like his magnum opus, because like I immediately fell in love with the characters for that. And I'm kind of sad that this studio, or at least this director, isn't going to do Goodbye Eri, because I feel like the fucking art style here would do wonders for that. I will say
Goodbye Eri was good, but it was nowhere near as good as this. So I feel like it'd be almost a step down to do Goodbye Eri at this point. I feel like is not necessary. Goodbye Eri was fine. I thought it was good, but like compared to this,
I feel like it might just be more me because I love the aspect of film too.
Yeah, but that main character was too autistic. He was so autistic, he actually made me like a little uncomfortable, which was probably the point.
It kind of was.
Like him fucking adding the explosion at the end of his like mom's cancer video and shit. I'm like, oh my god.
It's Michael Bay, man.
Oh Lord. But yeah,
lens flares and explosions.
We're coming up on our
Nolan and fucking Michael Bay all in one.
We're coming up on our hour mark here, so we should probably wrap up.
Yeah.
I'll start with my final thoughts on this. thought it was excellent. I thought it was really emotional. It reminded me of like being a kid and like nothing on your mind other than what makes you happy, and you're not like thinking about why does it make me happy, or is it smart that will this make me money? Well, am I making passive income on this? You're just like doing it because it makes you happy, and I love that. And you know, the Fujimoto twist. And what's funny is like I don't even think it needed. This movie could have been totally beautiful and fine if it didn't have the axe murderer segment. Like it could have literally just been like a story of two girls growing up. The axe murderer did feel like mega out of nowhere, but like it doesn't bother me. I think it was fine. I was like,
it's just like
it was very like there's the Fujimoto.
yeah, like literally it was there's the Fujimotoism, and I love that they brought that in there.
Interesting that he was mad about like you stole my art.
Yeah, because
he brought like a Twitter beef into like, which was obviously not real, I imagine, or he like killed the wrong person if it was real.
No, it's based on a real story. Apparently, like somebody actually went into an art school and did that, and it was also like an homage, sort of, to like the Kyoto anime fire thing. Is kind of like where they dug inspiration for the story out, and then this was like right at the 1-year anniversary of that. This is just judging by like excerpts of like interviews and shit.
Well, I think it also, even beyond all those like specific references to potentially real things that happened, like it reminds me of just the fact that like things that used to be specifically just internet beef, Twitter beef, like are coming into reality.
Blend into real out.
Yeah,
yep.
It's because the internet used to feel like its own little separate world. And I think it's because when we were first on the internet, you know, you had like an under 50% of the population were on the internet. Like there was a period when the internet was brand new, when it was just kind of our generation. It was a small little subsection of people on the internet. But now everyone, including all the boomers, are on the internet. So it's like it used to feel like we could do whatever.
Do you know my Facebook password?
Yeah, I genuinely, this should be discussed. I need like a video essay on this because like, do you remember when it felt like the internet was like a different world? Like you could just do anything, and like you could like straight up like break the law on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, because now if you harass,
I mean, you still can.
No, I know, but like, how do I want to word this? Like, I feel like back in the day it was like almost for sport. You could just like harass someone into like suicide on the internet. Yeah. Like, you know, and it was just it's fine. It's not real. It's the internet. But now if you genuinely like fucking harass someone, like look at the Chibi shit. Chibi's pressing charges because of some shit people did on the internet. And it's like, and like, I'm not going to go into who's right there. Chibi's an asshole, but no one should ever be doxxed, et cetera, et cetera. But like, it's interesting because like, I feel like 2008 internet, it would have just been, that would have stayed on the internet. But now everything gets brought into real life in a way that like.
No, literally. Yeah. Like my take had people roasting me. I'm like, both people can be assholes in this. Like he cultivated an audience full of incels. And the second he dove into right-wing, you know, conservative grift, it kind of played against him because he does unabashedly post very, very shit takes, and he does also like dive into that lolly-esque style of art too.
I haven't watched him since the Promised Neverland days. He was like my main guy I watched review Promised Neverland. But what I'll say is, not knowing anything about other than what I see briefly on Twitter from him.
No, like
hold on,
what happened to him is like disgusting.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did you have more to say?
Like, I was just saying, like, what happened to him is disgusting. You shouldn't be doxing people, regardless of your fucking affiliation or taste towards him. You can dislike a creator.
Me and Thurman talked about this. The only thing that I can say is, like, I see him bait all the time on Twitter. You know, like, he does, like, the internet's gonna be mad at me today. Fuck you, stay mad. I don't know. He's very, and it's like, the vibes are rancid from the guy. And like, again, like no one should do this, but I will say like, he should probably just get off of Twitter. And I hope he does, because like, I don't know. There's a reason that I used to be that guy that would tweet all the time, that would post on Facebook all the time. I see memories from like when I used to post on Facebook in high school. I was the motherfucker that was posting like, just ate a taco, it was delicious. Like I updating every single thing. And as I got older, I realized two things. One, no one gives a fuck. Two, if you post too much online, you will get drawn into dramas that turn into things like this. You know what I mean? And like I think you and I both, and I know you still do it from time to time, but like there used to be an era where like we would get into little group chats and like find someone that had some cringe opinion and like let's all go like fucking fight this guy on Twitter. But like now I just can't. I don't know if it's just growing up, maturing, or just
I'll argue with
bothered
fuckers
anymore.
Yeah, I'll argue with fuckers if they start being like too much, or like
It's not worth it.
I try to educate more than argue at this point. Like, oh, you support this artist, but this is the terrible things that they did, like that kind of thing. Especially like being in the music scene. Because I would rather like abusers not have a spot in that portion of life, that kind of thing. Most of what you see me post on social media at this point is from an app that I just use to cross post. I genuinely do not actively get on social media at this point, unless I absolutely have to. And it's so much better for my fucking mental health.
Oh yeah.
If I get drug into like an argument, or somebody sends me something like, hey, this artist is, performing with this person, you might want to post something like that about that. I'll get on Twitter. I'll be like, hey, don't really support this kind of thing. That, or like when I went to look back with a partner, I logged into the fucking Twitter directly and like, hey, we're at look back, kind of thing. That's about the extent of me being on Twitter or like Facebook or Instagram in general. And it's so much more freeing to have one of those apps that cross post. Like if you want to fucking update people on something. Because you're not actively engaging with the comments. You're not actively engaging with any of the drama that comes with it. The only reason I knew that the fucking take about Chibi was getting rancid is because, like, hey, you have been quote tweeted like 10 times. I'm like, motherfucker. But, like, it's fucking funny that what we did from the beginning has been, like, the most freeing portion of being a creator, and that was cultivating our audience to our own take.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. I don't let... If there's cringe people in, you instantly must dogpile on them to get them out. So like, like we had this recently on 100. Like 99% of the comments, it's people we've cultivated, it's people that like us, yada yada yada. And then we had one guy, because we make fun of the fact that there's like there's a handful of yikesy things in 100 Girlfriends, because of course it's a Japanese harem series. And one of the girls is his cousin, because of course. So you got that SAO representation for you, Vex.
God.
But so we
That's sweet home Alabamaism.
Exactly. We constantly will make fun of that, and we had a commenter like really defending that, and I was like, and so basically I was like, we said, oh, that's tragic that inevitably there's going to be more interactions with them, because I always like to I headcanon for my own mental health that he's just like babysitting her. She's part of the harem as like, we'll just take care of her, but we're not going to kiss her. But every once in a while he does. And I'm like, no, Rentaro! And then so he commented like, oh, it's going to happen more, obviously, as he's one of his girlfriends. And then I was like, tragic. And then he was like, not for me. I like it. And then I responded like, I don't know, man. I personally think it's okay to be against cousin fucking. And I did not get a response from that guy.
He unsubscribed immediately.
Probably. Yeah. What? They're against cousin fucking? What? All right, anyway.
Oh my god.
I will say, I'll say this, okay? If you have to fuck your cousin, just don't have a baby with them. All right? Because like if you think about it actually doesn't hurt anything as long as you don't have your incest baby.
And then you get Rick and Morty season 4.
Yeah. God. And with that,
peace.